What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update and second stimulus package update for you guys today. We have a lot of news for you guys. The Democrats are meeting with the White House to go over the next stimulus bill that was proposed yesterday. And I have a whole bunch of new news for you guys here. And we're going to give it all to you here in just a few minutes. But first, I want to thank you guys so much, each and every one of you guys, for us hitting 100,000 subscribers yesterday. We blew past it, and I am so thankful. I want to thank each and every one of you guys. And if you're interested, stay to the end of the video. We're going to have a special appearance from my wife and my 2-year-old son, Julian. Okay, so let's get into some more details that we're finding out about the next stimulus package that has been drafted and produced by the Senate Republicans. A top Senate Republican, Chuck Grassley of Iowa, says a stimulus check would do more economic good than a payroll tax cut, which is what Trump is seeking. So as we're starting to get more details of this entire plan that was unveiled privately behind closed doors to Republicans yesterday, and the Democrats are set to get it here today, we're starting to put together more of the pieces of the next stimulus plan, or at least what the first starting negotiations are from the Senate. We'll get to that here in a second. But what we're starting to hear from this closed-door meeting is the Republicans are thinking about having that $40,000 income soft cap to who would receive the next stimulus check, and it would probably gradually go up to somewhere around $75,000. That's who would receive the next stimulus check, and then also would be a payroll tax cut to anybody who is working, which would basically provide a 7.65% raise in each one of your paychecks. And the reason you would be getting that raise is because you will not be having money taken out for Social Security or for Medicare. So a stimulus check to people making under $40,000, probably either $1,200 or $2,000, depending on who you talk to. If you go by what President Trump says, it would probably be $2,000. If you go by what the rest of the Republicans say, it would probably be $1,200. That's also the amount the Democrats initially wanted, okay? Under $40,000 income limit would get those checks. If you're over $40,000, maybe probably $40,000 to $75,000, you would get a check, but it would be smaller, okay? If you're working, okay, and you make under $40,000, you would get both the stimulus check and the payroll tax deduction. If you make between $40,000 and $75,000, you'd probably get both also, but your stimulus check would be reduced, okay? So the problem with this is that the Democrats are against the $40,000 soft income cap. It's a soft income cap as opposed to a hard income cap because it's not a complete cutoff. It's not like if you make $41,000, you get nothing. You would just get a slightly reduced check, okay? That's why it's a soft income cap. The first problem with this is the Democrats are against that income cap, okay? I feel like, and I'm probably pretty right on this, that a lot of what we're going to hear is coming out about the next stimulus package that's been produced by the Republicans is a starting point. I think they know that it's going to get under heavy negotiations, okay? So if they start at $40,000 income cap, the Democrats might negotiate it up to $50,000, $60,000, or even $75,000, which was the first income cap from the first stimulus package. That one, the soft cap was $75,000, and it went up to $99,000 on that gradual scale. Basically, when you got to $99,000, your stimulus check was very small, like $100, okay? So we will see an income cap. We've seen an income cap on the first check of $75,000. It's going to be somewhere between $40,000 and $75,000 for the starting point of the income cap. President Trump is 100% gung-ho and says he'll even veto the next stimulus bill if he doesn't get a payroll tax deduction. And the funny thing about this is even a lot of Republicans are against this payroll tax deduction because what happens is it puts more money in working people's paychecks right now. But what it does is it makes it so they're not putting any new money into Medicare or Social Security, And that will have a lot of long-term implications. And a lot of people are saying it would cause an additional $1 trillion deficit to Medicare and Social Security, and we already know those are struggling big time. So you guys can let me know your thoughts down below on the comments. Do you think that the working class, working Americans should get a 7.6% raise right now, but not have Social Security or Medicare taken out of their paycheck, which would cause even more harm to Social Security in the future? Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin has actually been a great source of information during this time. He seems pretty level-headed, a lot better than Larry Kudlow. If you've been watching my show, that guy's just off the hook. But Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin says that the Republicans are starting with $1 trillion for the next stimulus package. That was the number they didn't want to be over at all before. And I think they know that that is just the starting point. They did say at one point they were willing to go up to $1.3 trillion. So it is kind of decent to see them starting at $1 trillion. I don't think there's any way possible it will end at $1 trillion. The Democrats want $3 trillion and the Republicans want $1 trillion, and President Donald Trump and the White House want $2 trillion. I think they're going to come together. It's going to be somewhere close to $2 trillion, maybe a little less, depending on if they give money to the states and the cities. Oh, and by the way, you know how states and cities are struggling and there's a lot of them that are going to be close to bankruptcy before the end of the year because a lot of people aren't working, a lot of people aren't spending money, and there's not enough tax dollars being pumped back into states and cities to run their budgets, to run their governments. Well, guess how much money the Republicans put in the next stimulus bill for states and cities? Go ahead, take a guess. $0. $0. Yeah, that's their starting point. So the Democrats said that we would need about $1 trillion to help the states and the cities from going bankrupt. It's been said that they're going to need at least $500 billion or $500 billion to bail out all the states and cities in the United States. I mean, there's thousands of cities in the United States, and they're going to need at least $500 billion to get it. Well, the Republicans decided to give all the states and all the cities $0 in this next stimulus package. In fact, mayors had an emergency call asking for immediate money that is needed for cities. The mayors wrote, "From the start, cities have been on the front lines of the fight against this disease, coordinating local response and devoting significant resources to keep people safe. At the same time, as economies shut down, cities have experienced a precipitous decline in tax revenue, the full impact of which economists expect to grow. Together, these dynamics have decimated city budgets in cities large and small." So cities are going to need billions of dollars. It's just a fact. Cities and even states are just going to need money because of this pandemic. So whether they include it in this stimulus package or not, there probably is going to be more stimulus packages after this, especially if the virus and this pandemic continues throughout the rest of the year. We currently have about 40% of the United States pausing their reopening or actually reversing and closing back down. And we have over 50% of the country requiring you to wear masks right now. And that trend is growing. Nancy Pelosi, who is the House Speaker, she's the leader of the House and the leader of the Democrats in the House. The House is controlled by the Democrats. And Chuck Schumer, who is the Senate Minority Leader, he's the leader of the Democrats in the Senate. The Senate's controlled by the Republicans, are meeting with the White House today in a closed-door meeting to go over the next stimulus package that has been drafted by the Senate Republicans. This will officially kickstart the negotiations between the Republicans and the Democrats. So we're going to have to see how quickly they can get through this. They're trying to pass this bill before the end of the month, July 31st, which is less than 10 days away now. So They're going to have to get on their horse, like my dad would say, and start heavy negotiations. If they can just get in a room and get the Republicans and the Democrats, or at least the top Republicans and the top Democrats, maybe the top 10, top 5 of each party, not hundreds of people, get them in a room together, they can iron out these negotiations within a few days. Just like they did with the first stimulus package and the first stimulus check that went out to Americans. Since then, we've had 3 other stimulus packages that passed for like the PPP loan, money for small businesses. So this is technically the 5th stimulus package that they will be passing, the second one that has a stimulus check to Americans. And in case you're wondering, the rest of the world is still passing stimulus packages in their own cities and their own countries all across the world, okay? The EU just passed another $2 trillion stimulus package for the European Union. So it's not like the US is the only country doing this. In fact, the US has passed one of the lowest stimulus checks in the world, having only give $1,200 to their residents. There's a lot of other countries that are doing monthly payments like $2,000 per month in Canada. So a one-time payment from the US of $1,200 is not very high. And for us to see more stimulus checks to Americans coming out is just going to catch us up with the rest of the world. And we're also going to have a lot of updates coming out about the $600 per week unemployment benefits being extended, which end on July 31st. They're talking about $200 to $400 per week, extending that. I will keep you guys updated as I hear any new news about that as soon as it comes out, which will probably be within the next 10 days, as they'll probably try to extend that before July 31st. So hi everybody, this is Laurel, my wife, and my 2-year-old son Julian.
Who doesn't want to stay, who wants to go outside and play. Who is that?
Who is that?
Huh? Can you say hi?
Yeah, trying to keep a 2-year-old sitting still.
It's a feat.
It's like trying to hold a worm in your hands.
Yeah, or an alligator.
Yeah, so anyways, we want to thank you guys so much for 100,000 subscribers. We actually had 7,000 new subscribers just yesterday. I was literally in tears, and tell them how fast, we started our YouTube channel about 1.5 years ago. Tell them how long you thought it would take us to get to 100,000.
I thought it was a definite goal that was a good thing to strive for, but I thought it was going to be far in the future before we would ever reach that goal. I mean, 10 years. There was part of me that thought that...
You thought it would take 10 years?
I mean, there was part of me that thought that it was a nice aspiration, but that you wouldn't hit it.
Wow. I thought it would take several years, but we definitely had hit it way faster.
Way faster.
So, and honestly, we have nobody to thank but you guys. Thank you so much for subscribing.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for smashing the like button on every video. Thank you for your comments. I try to read as many comments as I can. Obviously, I can't respond to them all. I think we had like 2,000 comments just yesterday alone. But I spend hours reading your guys' comments, responding. We love you guys so much. We could not do this without you. And we get an actual award from YouTube or Google. Google owns YouTube. So it's probably gonna be several weeks. I have to apply for it. They have to send me a code. Then they have to make it. They have to engrave it. And then they send it to me, and I'm gonna unbox it and show it to you guys when I get it. It'll probably be at least a couple weeks. I'm actually gonna put some links down below in the description for you if you guys wanna see what the award looks like, or if you wanna see how they make it. It's an amazing, it's an amazing thing. We just watched it yesterday and we're like, oh, yes.
It's really exciting, but thank you so much for all your support and your comments, and just for taking the time to watch this guy and hear what he has to say.
And by the way, Laurel edits all of our videos. When we did our first video ever 1.5 years ago, she didn't know how to edit and I didn't know how to film. And we've put many, many hours into it. Lighting, cameras, microphone, editing.
It's a whole new skill to learn.
Yeah, just your on-camera presence and speaking and and trying to keep people engaged, and it's basically like producing your own mini TV show out of the comfort of your home. And then all the research, hours and hours and hundreds of hours of research going into, you know, whether it's our Amazon, selling products on Amazon video or our stimulus video. You know, we're researching every single day. Laurel actually does a lot of the research for me and kind of like preps me and briefs me for me to come in and do the final reporting, I would say. But it's been a journey, and
all while taking care of a feisty 2-year-old.
Yeah, and last year was a 1 year. For our first year, we didn't sleep at all.
No.
That kid did not sleep.
He still doesn't sleep. He's like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah,
he just goes all day.
He's the type of kid that cannot nap and stay up until midnight if you don't put him to sleep. He will just
keep going.
Yeah, he'll keep going until he falls asleep, which won't be until midnight. But that's only happened a few times. It's been quite a journey.
Yes, to say the least.
So anyways, we look forward to possibly 1 million subscribers. We get another award if we ever get to that point. It would just be an absolute dream come true if that's even a possibility.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. I think that one is light years away, but we'll have to see. Thank you so much for coming along this journey with us. We love you guys so much. This award, when we get it, it's going to be just as much yours as ours, because without you guys, we wouldn't be anywhere. So thank you guys so much. Over here, I'll link our video yesterday about the stimulus package just announced, and the bottom video is about a $5,000 tax credit. And on the other side is a video about how to start a business selling products on Amazon. Thanks guys, and I will see you in the next video.